Welcome back to another episode of the Down to 216, hosted by your boy Will over here, man. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling today as we get into another interesting video topic? Now look, so today I wanted to bring up a debate based off a quote that Jim Schwartz said back in the beginning. I think it was maybe OTAs or it was sometime. I could figure out when he said it, but he said Myles Garrett, he expects him and thinks he can have a career year. So I wanted to go through and break down some thoughts, and is it a realistic expectation to expect Myles to have a better year than he did the last two seasons? First thing first, let's go back to we could just go back to last year. We can start from last year. So last year, Myles Garrett finished with about 14 sacks. I think he had like 30 or something solo tackles. Had a 94.7 PFF grade. He really could have won Defensive Player of the Year again, but the major factor of him not winning Defensive Player of the Year was team record. This Cleveland Browns team didn't win get anything, or we won 3 games. Why would you ever award a team for winning 3 games when, how much impact did he really do? He got a whole bunch of garbage time sacks. Like, let's just call a spade what it is. So at the end of the day, that's how somebody gonna look at it. Now, when you sit back here and you talk about him and you look at Myles Garrett, my thing is, you could go back to his 2022 season, he had 16 sacks. The year that he had won Defensive Player of the Year, he only had 14 sacks. Still, had a good PFF grade for whatever that means or stand for, but nonetheless, he had a decent year. So these are 2 subpar years, and I'm saying subpar to his expectations. We thinking naturally. The sack number is a pretty big indicator of what people look at, if we're just going to be honest here. The sack number, the record, and then, team impact, what coaches feel about you, and PFF rating. So all those 5 things usually be the bigger factors of looking into who's the best defensive player and how they've been going. And based off those things, Myles Garrett passes everything but the team record. So I think a big part of it is this Cleveland Browns team is going to be capable of being at least competent. Like, can they win 7 games? I think that's a pretty high amount to ask at this current moment, based off of the quarterback situation. So, will they give a player that didn't make the playoffs Defensive Player of the Year? What would that take for him to win Defensive Player of the Year again? What would that take for him to have a career year? Because, he has a career year. He got to follow it up with another Defensive Player of the Year. That's what all the all-time Hall of Fame greats do. You look at Aaron Donald. You look at J.J. Watt. But yeah, I don't even know why I said TJ. This video is sponsored by Detrimental Figures, my brand here. As y'all see, some of the quality of my recent work. You get a signature tag on it as well. We make and really emphasize quality over quantity. So we try to take and make sure we use the best materials to come up with our shirts and the best designs. Make sure y'all following us on Instagram, Detrimental Figures. So y'all can also get the description down below and hit the link for a shirt. Everything I drop is limited edition, so unfortunately this shirt is sold out. I don't have any more, but I have different things coming up similar to it. So keep in mind, and I'll keep you guys updated with some of my new stuff throughout these videos coming up. I was thinking about TJ Watt when they was comparing them to him. But long story short, all of the all-time greats that have bounce-back years, and they done repeated as Defensive Player of the Year. So I think Myles Garrett will have to have something close to 18, 19, 20 sacks. Maybe if he gets 20 sacks and the Browns win 7 games and miss the playoffs, Myles Garrett can somehow win Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe it'd be something like he is, putting on a defensive show, getting 2 sacks a game, putting us in games we shouldn't be in, and we win 7 games and we reach 7-10, which is capable. And which are some of the reasons why that is capable? When you look at bringing in Mason Graham, when you look at the development of Mike Hall, that is going to be a very good interior defensive line right there. Then you have Myles Garrett on the edge. You got Alex Wright, who improved. So there's all the indicators that it's going to be a much improved defensive line and a defensive line unit than it was last season. So it's going to fall in the range of how good this D-line is, how much pressure can they take off of Myles. And I think that's going to really be the biggest indicator of his stats, of the team's success, and of how Myles Garrett is viewed. If Mason Graham and Mike Hall are holding up and doing their job, Myles Garrett is going to get home. So he's going to walk in at 16 sacks. So if he's having a career year and he's better than what he was before, he should walk in at 18 sacks. I'm getting over a cold. Well, trying to get over a cold. I was sick on Friday. It's Sunday, so seeing how I'm doing. But Myles Garrett, I feel like is very capable of that, by the way. I think there's no reason to not expect him to do that, but I just think this season's probably not the season to do it. I think it's probably next season, his career year, when we got more of a good offense. I'm just not a big indicator until we get a good quarterback in there or give a quarterback a chance. We got to see what Joe look like, but until Shador get out there, I don't got a lot of hope, and we still got to get him some weapons. So I think it's going to come down to team success. I don't think this team is going to be where it needs to be to help Myles Garrett out. When we look at some of the other, running mates he got to go against, they might have a better record than us. So that's going to also be another thing to think about and to take in. But I do think that, you look back to his 2022 season, he had 16 sacks, followed up with 14 and 14. And he was playing hurt for mostly last year. So I do think he might, and I would expect him to have around 17 sacks, around 16, 17 sacks. Anywhere between, my low number would probably be 15 as long as he play all the games. So yeah, where you guys think Myles will finish at as far as in a sack leader and a sack race? How many sacks do you got for Myles over under wise? Probably got to look it up. I wish I had my other phone on me. I'm going to figure out what the prop is on that. I'm going to see if I can find it. But yeah, it's your boy Will. Just wanted to drop a quick video for y'all, man. I'm out. Peace.